I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. So what have you been doing to keep in shape? Well, honestly, I've given up on training. I don't have any plans to return to the trapeze or the tightrope. You don't say. But, no offense, I'm not worried about losing to you in a race or anything. Neither am I, Mr. Phoenix Wright! Alright, Von Karma, ease up. I wouldn't lose either, Slowpoke. I mean, Nick. Alright, Maya. Whoa, how did the discussion turn to me all of a sudden? I suppose you could say that I'm stronger than the average bear. Yes, you are. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. And why is that? Because if I were to do that, I'll end up falling out the window myself. I still haven't gotten much feeling back in my legs yet. So you couldn't have thrown that bust out of the window. There is no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. How long do you think your recovery will take? You have to remember that my nerves were severely damaged. I'm currently undergoing some extremely intensive rehabilitation, but it's still going to take a while before I'm back to 100%. Let me remind you of another very important point. If the witness was carrying the bust, he would not be able to see out the window, out below the window. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. That's not true. Why do you say it will be impossible? Allow me to explain. You accept that if I was carrying the bust, I couldn't see out below the window. Thus, there is no way that I would know the location of the ringmaster's head. Well, I suppose you've got a point. Hey, Nick! Huh? What if you turn things around? Maybe you could think of it sort of like this. Thanks, game. Thanks for giving me the clues, video game. If he knew the location of the ringmaster's head, then he could drop the bust. That does make sense. If only I could prove somehow that Acro knew the location of the ringmaster's head without looking down. I think I've already explained things sufficiently. Alright. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? So it's this one, and we're gonna put the monkey out here. And the monkey does like shiny objects. Meet me at 10 PM tonight at the Lodging House Plaza. Is it the note? Or is it the monkey? Oh, it's the box. He put the box there so that... And he knew that he would look at the box? Is that it? Okay, is it the note, the box, or the monkey? Let me try the monkey. It's not the monkey. I thought it could be the monkey. It's the box? It's probably the note, actually. No, it's the box. Acro! You didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What were you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I might add. Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? But I did such a good job hinting. Yes, hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright. Maybe you should take a look at this! The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over. The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box here? Who? When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense. The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Oh, it was a trap. He lifted up the box? Okay, so it was like a rope under the box onto the bust. Yeah, okay, there's a crane. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear. You mean if the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. No! Order! This is unbelievable! Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Yeah, the game. I don't like that. I mean, maybe some people like this. Maybe some people like enjoy the story being told. Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, very drama. But I've said before, it leaves the player with no agency, cause Phoenix is bluffing. And so you're like, I'm not solving the crime. I'm just pressing buttons, and the game is telling me what the solution is. You see what I mean? Like, I'm not telling the game what the solution is. The game is telling me what the solution is. I don't know. I'd rather it's the other way. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward! So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ah! Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Oh, I like his. The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box. How? No, why could he? And that's why the box was so specially made. Specially made? Indeed, it had the most peculiar feature, the weight of the box. The box has a remarkable weight. Weight? According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds! Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and then lift up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Foo! Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you've had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza? Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he is proposing. Nani? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust? I remember. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Oh, he doesn't go to the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bus from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus from the cafeteria to my room? Oh, it's Regina. You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright explained that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Ugh. The accomplice was Regina. Tell us exactly how the witness could have carried the bus from the cafeteria. Yep, we definitely have a problem here. but this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all. Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bus from the cafeteria back to his room? It's not the monkey, is it? Is it the monkey? It's the monkey. I said the monkey was the accomplice and the game said I was wrong. And now I say the monkey is the accomplice and the game tells me I'm right. Unbelievable! A monkey! Everyone knows money, he loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist ring. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust? Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home. Home? Money lives in Acro's room. I said this, the game penalized me, and then I say it again, and the game says, okay, it's fine this time. Acro's room! But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny. Maybe you should put the whip down and put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they are made of platinum, which is very shiny. Qua! Acro! Money is a strong monkey, right? I don't think a monkey is that strong. It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be on the market for a new roommate. Really? Although the monkey did bring like tubers and like exhaust pipes. Order! I said order, Miss Von Karma! Where is the bust in question at this moment? I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak. This is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then? Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. No, it's on purpose. It's to frame Max. Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer. That's possible is not proof. Moron! Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm a bit dizzy, however. His argument does hold water. There's no denying that. No, a circular argument doesn't hold water. Ow! Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney. Fraud? You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And what is that? You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime. Ah! There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony. That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright? Nick, don't let her beat you now. But I enjoy being whipped. I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around. When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw? It was the bust. He saw Max's bust. How? I said who was the other person most saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question. Yes, it does. You saw a silhouette of the bust. Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw! How is that possible? It's simple, really. What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust. What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all in this case? The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards of the bust's hands. Idiot, who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust? A guy trying to frame Max. It doesn't matter who put it on the bust. Wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? That question is of the utmost importance to this case, don't you agree? Don't, he got me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust? I mean, it's Acro. He tried to frame Max for it. I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright, didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak? Well, furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because this person was not spotted at the scene. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. When she's so nice about telling me I'm wrong, it hurts even more. Ah! The famous Von Karma carrot and whip approach. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? I need to, like... the monkey. Why would the monkey put the cloak on the bus? No, that can't be right. Who put the cloak on the bust? It's only the monkey who could do it. There are no footprints, it's not the clown. Wait a minute, who... Who put the cloak on the bust? Would the monkey steal... Wait, who put the cloak on the bust? The cloak was in the ringmaster's office. But the ringmaster put on Max's hat and cloak. Did the ringmaster and Acro work together to frame Max? I mean, only the monkey could have done it, because the ringmaster's definitely dead. And there's only one set of footprints, so it's not any person. How did the person get a hold of the cloak? Furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Person not spotted the scene. Who put the cloak on the bust? The ringmaster? Only he could have done it. What the? I'm out of chances, by the way. I'm down to 2 pips on the because I made so many mistakes. Fool! Him? You are saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying. I mean, the victim himself placed the cloak on the bust. That doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Yeah, okay. Wow, okay. I mean, that's pushing it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright? Explain yourself! Nick, Do you really have a handle on all of this? No. Who placed Cloak? We're really, really stretching. I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the scene. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Oh, wait. Wait. The note told the murderer to go to the crime scene. And the ringmaster wore Max's costume to the crime scene. Max is the one who killed Bat. Max is the one who killed Bat. But the ringmaster killed himself. Or tricked the murderer to kill him instead. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens. At the very instant that the bust hit the victim. Okay, come on. Come on, there's no way. There's no way that happened. I can't believe the game thinks this is a plausible scenario and it penalized me for not believing that this could be possible. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just isn't true, it can't be. It's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma. This circuit isn't over yet. Yeah, you tell me about it. The circuit isn't over yet. What? The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged on the bust. That's unbelievable. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. Why would the cloak magically attach itself to the bust? And that's how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be. I can't believe that's the right answer. There's no way that could have happened. This like jumped the shark 10 miles back. We've jumped like 100 sharks by now. So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro, it could only have been you. No, this is not it. Acro's been playing mind games with all of us. He sure has. But he has come to the end of his rope now. So... what now? You've graced us with a rather long-winded tale. But do you have any evidence to prove that your fairy tale is true? Evidence? In this court, only two things matter, the power of evidence and the power of my whip! Don't forget the power of my gavel as well. Mr. Wright, the prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence? Nick, they say they want evidence. I just explained how there can only be one possible murder weapon method. But there's still something unusual about Mo's eyewitness account. Unusual? A contradiction, actually. Okay then, use that and get out of this jam. What? That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright. Save? Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. What? There's the... I think it's the note. I think it's the note. Pepper, monkey... I mean, this is the only thing that's vaguely plausible. Dots, 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 dots. That's enough. This court sees no reason why I lose. This is... come on. How is any of this vaguely plausible? Hard evidence that shows you've unraveled the trick. Ringmaster unraveled the trick to this magic case. I mean, there's the motive. I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. I don't have any hard proof. Small seasoning bottle found inside the wooden box. The victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. Hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case. Well, where is this cloak anyway? A map of the very big circus. What is the evidence that it actually happened? Oh, it was... he was talking about Mo's contradiction. What was Mo's contradiction? Oh, the hat. The problem is Max's 3 symbols. You know, the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses. Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were 2 contradictions in most testimonies. Okay. The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other. But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions. You fool! Do you ever shut up? No, he doesn't. This is such a huge stretch. I don't buy this anymore. Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bus. Okay, is that proof? That's not really proof. Makes sense. If you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat. Well, sort of. Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction? The other contradiction? Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick? No. No, I can't. Of course I can explain all of it. What was that? Please recall the instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. This is complete BS. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Ah! Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the backside of the bust. This is ludicrous. Order! This is quite the shocking state of affairs. I stopped believing this like half an hour ago. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. It does sound absurd. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads. Let's do this, Nick. Maybe Von Karma will finally throw in the towel. So bad. Well, so much for that theory. Mr. Wright, do you mind? Okay, go on, Acro. What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think I didn't? If you did, then maybe you understand why I think you're off track. Why is that? Motive. This witness feels an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. Oh, they would. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. Acro's motive? He wasn't trying to kill the ringmaster, he was trying to kill Max. It seems that this case isn't over yet. Very well, however, I feel this is a good place to take a break. Yeah, it's been an hour. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Alright, let me save the game. It's because the ringmaster gave everybody's money to Max. And the ringmaster wore Max's outfit to save Max from the murder. Or maybe he did it to try to find out who's trying to kill Max. He didn't really expect to be killed himself. And you know, if they did kill, if Acro did kill Max, and Max probably gave the scarf to Bat and got Bat killed. If they did kill Max, the circus would fold because he actually is the main attraction. Alright, anyway, see you next time. That was completely unbelievable. I can't believe the video game did that.